Funny thing, right? I just got a email from YouTube saying that we were blocked in Belarus, so that's kind of crazy. I'm
Wow,
like,
what did we get?
I
Why did we get blocked in Belarus? Did we
right? I'm
like say
like,
something too mean about Vladimir, our boy Putin, or maybe we?
I guess.
Oh my God! Like
Yeah, we must have,
maybe that.
we
Well,
must,
making
we
Putin
must have
jokes that might
pushed.
get you banned in Russia, Mo. You should
Right,
be careful.
definitely. So, while so let me see. Do we start from the top? You know what? Let's do it this way.
Okay.
Um, we're gonna get into the things we started with. Obviously, we get to those things at the end, and we're gonna start with the actual show itself. Picking up from episode 2, things I liked about this episode. I thought the spy stuff, the shoot 'em up stuff was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's well done.
Something that I've really been seeing a lot from comic book people saying this show is boring when a lot of comic book people were requesting Marvel to go back to dark and gritty that Winter Soldier gave us. Oh my God, Marvel does everything is a joke. Everything is humor. We need, we need serious back, and you get that because that's
Hmm.
what this show is. It's serious. There's hardly any jokes in this show, and if it's a joke on the show, the joke is not told to break the tension. It's told from Nick Fury just being fucking tired of having to
Pissed
deal with
off.
this shit. You're right. So it's not a haha joke. It's a I'm not fucking with you joke. For wow, I just cursed. But yeah.
We
So
cannot have nice things.
I don't understand the criticism for this show from a lot of the people. Um, but anyways, like I said, things that I liked the spy stuff. Breaking into the um what was it? The captain of the sub's house. Was that the captain of the sub or the captain of the navy?
It was a Navy like commander's house. Who?
Navy commander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff. I also like the idea of like the scrolls not just like integrating into the sub. So I
Hmm.
like that. Our guy, the guy that we think is a mole, is the guy who do we know him? Do we know what he's about? He's on the sub. Uh, so I'm interested in seeing how all of that fleshes out. We're halfway through. We
Hmm.
have 3 more episodes. How I'm here saying today I don't think this show lands.
I mean, we don't know where. I think, to me, unlike most other Marvel shows, the tension is building up. Like,
Hmm.
like most shows, like think about Moon Knight, right? The third Moon Knight episode was that weird one where he like gets in the fight in the like horse pen, and it kind of just like was a little like strange, right? Like, and
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
whatever happened with Miss Marvel in the third episode with the idiots, like like,
The
and
villains
She-Hulk
who
was
was not
very like
named.
episode by episode, right? So
Yeah, it was episodic.
episodic. So most of the shows like lose momentum at this point. It feels to me Secret Invasion is gaining momentum, which, but I don't know where they want to go.
That's that's
What's the point? I mean, we'll see.
right. We will see, but that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it lands. I don't think Secret Invasion ends with these episodes. That's my thing. I think it's gonna be a thing. It's like Nick Fury will like Spider Verse. Nick Fury will be back in the Marvels, right? We're going to. I don't know where. I feel like this is a setup to something, and it's upsetting me because it's good, but I don't think you can wrap whatever story you're trying to tell in 6 episodes. So I don't think it lands. Will it
Mm.
end? And I want to know where it's gonna go. Yes, but will it like? It won't conclude. Maybe that's what I should have said. It won't conclude in 6 episodes.
Well, none of these Disney Plus shows have concluded in 6 episodes, except for I get like kind of Moon Knight, but
One.
no,
No, no,
WandaVision
no,
did
no,
not.
no, no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. WandaVision didn't. Particularly with the
Uh,
reworked ending of like, they'll never know what you gave up. But
oh my
you're like,
god.
Wanda has got to be getting what she deserves in some other situation, which she kind of does in Doctor Strange. So, like, Loki set up the second season of itself. like She-Hulk kind of just like ended in its own like She-Hulky way, but
Mm-hmm.
She-Hulk's the outlier. Like the one to me that felt like it most like ended and was just like, all right, this is done, is Falcon and Winter Soldier, because it was basically like, because Falcon and Winter Soldier, both a lot of things happened and nothing happened.
Right, but I think
Like,
Falcon and Winter Soldier it dealt with its conflict within the show, and maybe, and if anything, set up Falcon being Captain America. Right.
right. It was a classic like
Yeah.
mini series in a comic book thing, right? Like where like
Yes.
Wolverine goes, he like leaves in X-Men 49 and he's back in X-Men 50, but he has a 4-issue mini series between that.
Right. Right.
And where
Right.
nothing
Right.
changes for like Wolverine doesn't really change. So you don't have to have read the miniseries. But if you read the miniseries,
Mm-mm.
it's enjoyable, but you don't have to like, because like if you watch Endgame, the assumption is Sam becomes Cap at the end of Endgame, and then he'll
Right.
be in Captain America
Right.
4 as Cap, right?
But no,
So
they had to show you him becoming Cap. I don't understand that. I absolutely
I mean,
did not get
I
that.
like Falcon
But
Soldier, but I'm like a weirdo.
but
So.
I like this show. So I think my reservations are 6 episodes. This story seems big. Like the story is starting to seem bigger. Yes, will we get a conclusion with the Super Scrolls? We will, but the story is starting to seem bigger. I mean, the reason I'm saying that is because if we go all the way to the end, Rhodey is kind of confirmed as a scroll. Kind of, because we don't, it could be a fake out. Um, um, where Nick Fury's wife is working for Rhodey as opposed to like working with Fury. Like she's working behind his back. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean
It's
that is
I
an
mean,
option.
I'm reaching, right? I'm
No,
super reaching, but like he could not be a scroll. I just don't want him to be a scroll. That's it.
I mean
I
like
think
I think
that's
he's a scroll. Like
right.
I mean, and maybe they'll zag, and I'll be proud if they zag. But the problem is like you don't do Secret Invasion, like I've said this every episode. You don't do Secret Invasion. Like the whole point of it is that people are scrolls and you don't know they're scrolls.
Right.
And the
Right.
only named characters that we came in to this like series knowing, like that was confirmed gonna be in it, are Talos, who is a Skrull, like that's all
Mm-hmm.
right, Nick Fury, and Rhodey. So that means either Nick or Rhodey is a Skrull. Now,
Right.
would it be cool if it's a fake out and like Nick Fury is a Skrull? Maybe. Like I don't know. We'll see. But I am pretty sure. For me, it's more of a like. And in our abortive previous episode, we were talking about this. Whether he's a long-term Skrull, like from a certain point in the Marvel past, like Iron Man 2. At the end of Iron Man 2, Rhodey got replaced by uh by by uh by it.
Or maybe
But
after Civil War,
it could be after Civil
right?
War. It could be
As he
during the
broke his
blip.
back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's not walking around with like an aid or anything, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
which he was
And
into Endgame, I think. Did he still
yeah,
have?
post Civil War, he had that like kind of like a exoskeleton that he was walking around with. So I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. So, like maybe so like, and if it's like a short term thing, like let's say like after Endgame, right? Because I don't think like I think a lot of people will be pissed off if they go on Twitter and they find out that the big emotional scene between Rhodey and Tony at the end of Endgame was a scroll. Like I don't know if they'll
Correct.
mess with that. So like let's say at some point after Endgame he gets replaced by a scroll. And that could be an interesting like lead on for Armor Wars, right? Because like the Marvel has been repeatedly saying that like the Iron Man corner of the Marvel universe is a mess, right? At that, No Way Home really screwed up, with Tony's death. There's like no big protector of Stark Industries, so like a bunch of Stark tech has been taken by the government. Like Rhodey coming back from being a Skrull, and we get our Rhodey back, and he's like, the legacy of my best friend and that he and I built together has been completely fucked. Why I've been in like this space coma. Like I need to fix that. That could be what this is setting up. That could be what the big thing of Secret Invasion is. is that Rhodey comes out of his scroll coma and is like, fuck. Like, Pepper couldn't hold it together, and I've got to come and like bail her out. Like that's the situation. Like
Right.
so.
So we've talked about two of the big things, right? One of them being Nick Fury's wife being a
Did you like that,
something.
by the way? Do you like that? Like,
Okay, so here's my problem with it, right? Unless maybe Nick Fury doesn't bring work home, he's supposed to be like the spy of spies. Is he this like again? Unless you don't bring work home, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like once you get through the threshold of the home, like you leave all that spy shit behind you, and whole time your wife is a spy working under you, and if you feel like wouldn't you wouldn't he know kind of
well, you mean to know if she's
like have an
uh,
idea or some sort of suspicion, right? He's supposed to be this super brilliant, super
oh
great
no,
spy.
well, you don't think he know? No, he definitely knows she's a Skrull.
No, he knows she's a scroll, but he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what she's doing.
Oh, what she's doing. Well, they did a good job of explaining that, right? Because like Fury was blipped, and then he goes on his like space station vacation for like reasons that like the show keeps like
So,
smacking you in the face that they're gonna tell you at some point.
telling
Like,
us yeah, but this is
why is
this
he
is
on?
this is my issue. This is my issue with that, right? Did she just convert? Like, is it that she just got converted? Right? Is it something where as soon as Gravik became this person and he started recruiting, did he start recruiting post blip? Is that when he started doing this? Like, we don't know the timeline of any of this. So, or is Gravik someone who got converted? Like, he was in a cult, right? And then he saw like a cult leader say some things, and now he's like, build a wall. Like, is he like is he a recent convert? Because you don't just come up with these ideas, right? And just now I'm gonna do this today. Like I decided it's something that had to be grown over time, and you got converted. He's like, because the council is like he's one of our most. I don't remember what was said last week from one of the council members or why they're voting him into the council because he's like the only one like actually doing the things that they want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, that's basically what they said.
when yeah, when did he start this and when did he recruit Nick's wife? If he recruited her when he was on his space vacation, fine. I'm okay with that. I live. I just something about her if they were existing together and she's been I have an issue with it. So I like it in the sense of it's fucking like it's a great twist,
Mm-hmm.
but like I just want to know that he never knew because he was in space, and then I'll be very okay with it.
So, I mean, the real question is like, what is Gravik's specific backstory? So, the main thing we've been explicitly given is that he was a child soldier against the Kree who escaped
Was he a
and
child
then
soldier? He
comes to
just
Earth.
escaped, right?
But like Talos is like he took a bunch of Kree with him on his way out.
Right.
He's like he is like, and he kind of says it in this episode, right? By the way, the actor who plays Gravik does a really good job. Like, I really
Amazing,
like
amazing.
great.
Yes.
Like he sold the whole like I am just like gonna fuck people up for what my like dream is, which is like a return of a
Hmm.
scroll homework. So like you get the impression like he's a true believer. So I imagine what he like my this is a guess is that he was Nick Fury's adopted son. Like whether or not he officially like adopted, but like Nick Fury like meant like he was part of the scroll group, right? And then when
Hmm.
shit hits the fan, once the Avengers take over and like it stops being about over time helping the Skrulls. It becomes about like saving Earth. And then Nick
Hmm.
Fury is blipped, and then he doesn't come back and help the Skrulls. He gets disillusioned, right? And
Right. Right.
and now he's back. Like the energy that he put doing what Nick wanted is now being directed towards destroying the humanity. So I think once we get the specifics of like, and that would make sense, right? If Gravik grew up with the Furies, it would make sense that she, like, his wife would be easily recruited by
His
her, right?
mother.
Because
Right. Right.
right,
That
his
would make
surrogate
sense
mother.
because that's my son. Yeah. Type shit. Well, okay.
Yeah.
But then again, it would have to be. It can't be while Nick was there. I can't. I don't like that. Will never make sense to me. like Gravik being mad at Nick Fury, like, throwing a tantrum pretty much, like, you left me alone. You left me alone. You left you left Skrulllus alone. Like, I don't mind the tantrum that he's throwing. I just don't want it to be like he and the mother or adopted mother, were sitting at home one day while Nick was there and they were planning out this,
Blow up
like,
the
no,
planet. Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
Nick it just happened right under his nose. No, I wouldn't. No, but no, it's actually brilliant. I love the parlay scene. I thought that was a pretty
Very good.
amazing scene, and I think the best part of the scene is where Talos thought, like, he thought, he's like, look, I'll break your neck right here, and then that's just the power of the scrolls right now. Like, you don't know
Who's
who's a
that?
scroll, right? And it's like all graphic, and it's like, oh shit, I fucked up. Let me sit down real quick.
Well, then he still
I
like
thought that was
fucks him up. Like, do you
okay. So
think
now I think
Talos
that
makes
was
it out of the show?
no, no. I don't think you have Talos, and again, Khaleesi isn't dead. I don't think you have both of them. I think you kill off. This is also what I think. I think Marvel is also trying to get younger.
I mean, Khaleesi's
So
not that
if you
young.
do,
She's.
I mean, in
I
terms
mean,
of what's his?
I mean,
She's
Ben
30,
Mendelsohn is looking,
but
old.
yeah. In terms
He's
of he's the elder statesman. I think Marvel's trying to like they're not trying to James Gunn the scrolls, but fire fire gun. Um
well.
no, we're not doing we're not going on a tangent today.
Well. So I agree with you. Probably tell us, like, because Ben, like, Mendelsohn has been like pulling out the stops. Like, every
Oh,
scene
he's
that he is in
amazing.
is
Yeah,
really good. It's just like, okay, like, I would watch him and Sam Jackson like give each other shit for
all
like
day.
all day long.
Like the car ride where he's like telling him, like, you like, if we're being real, you're like my puppy, like, you are the dog in this in this situation. And I kind of love their relationship. I love, like, how they relate with each other. I think that's one of the other strongest points of the shows. Ben Mendelsohn and the actor who plays Grant, like, I don't know, Ben Mendelsohn is chewing up all his scenes. He just happens to be, and he and the actor, when they did the parlay scene, I thought that was amazing as well. They were
Mm-hmm.
both like, I got scared. I actually felt fear for Talos. I'm like, he's not making it alive. And every time he talks to what's her name, Emilia Clarke, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, he's going to blow her head open. Like, the opening scene was like, so he didn't know. How did he know? Oh, we guessed. Like, no, I mean, like, just, I kept saying, don't lie to him. I don't know why. I'm like, just lie, but then don't lie because he's gonna kill you if you lie. So listen, he's good. He is good. I think one thing this show holds more than all the other ones is that most of the top cast on this are just great,
Yes,
right?
they are
Good to
bringing their A
great.
game. I mean,
Yeah.
Amelia
So,
Clark sucks like always, but she's trying her Amelia Clark best. Like,
but that's the thing, is she's in these scenes with, like, it's I go back to Thor 1, right? Where Chris Hemsworth is acting with Loki and his dad and, like, all these other strong
and
actors,
Russo,
and
yeah.
it just kind of hides, it just kind of hides his deficiencies. He's better now. He's not great, but he's better, you know. And he found his niche. He's a comedic kind of guy. He does
And he
the
does
action, but
action really well. Like, yeah,
yeah.
he's like an
So he's
old
found his
school
niche, and
leading man. Yeah.
yeah, so I like that for him. But yeah, Amelia Clark, she's also hiding, and they're not giving her, like, as you said, they're not giving first two episodes, she didn't really have a lot to do. They're not giving her a lot to do. So they're doing really well to, like, kind of just slide her through this, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, the question is, Talos doesn't make it out of here. Amelia Clark does, because
Probably,
she's
yeah.
going to be the squirrel moving forward. And maybe the black guy scroll moves on as well. But honestly, do you think, obviously Nick is gonna make it out of here, so
Well, he's
it
in the
doesn't even matter.
Marvels, so
Right,
like we
right.
But
Listen,
how
so
changed is he? Right. I mean, is the real question. I
we're
think.
gonna know why he went to space for a vacation. We're gonna find out why he ditched the love of his life to go to space for a vacation. I will say though, the Agent Tech, amazing.
That they like. Well, to be fair, like they have it right. Like remember how
Right.
we were talking about how Hulk always looked
Luke?
better than everybody
Oh,
else
right,
in
right.
She-Hulk because they
Mhm.
spend all the money to do it. Like it's just sitting on Disney servers, just like they made a
Right.
whole ass movie with like Captain Marvel. Like
Right.
Nick Fury
Oh,
is like
that's Nick Fury.
like
Yeah, so
we got
they just pull that mold and throw it and whenever they need to go in the past, they just put that on. But yeah, the Aging Tech is amazing. Do you think Talos makes it out of here alive?
I also agree with you. I don't because like somebody big has to die at the end, right? To give
Hmm.
it like real
Hmm.
stakes, right? And it will probably be Talos. Like one, does Ben Mendelsohn like want to sit around for Marvel? Like he's like like he's older, like he's
Does
gotten his
he
Marvel movie. Like
300K per movie, 400 500K per movie? Yeah, I think I'd like to sit around for
yeah,
Marvel.
maybe,
I'm not really
but
doing anything. The what was the last thing he did? The show on Netflix, Bloodlines. Like that was a long time ago. I
I mean
don't
he's been doing
remember.
like miscellaneous like stuff. I mean
Yeah,
he went on that like tear where he was in like
artsy.
Rogue One and Captain
Oh yeah,
Marvel,
that's
and
right.
he was also in that really
Huh.
good HBO show, The Outsider. That highly recommend that one. Uh,
Outsider.
yeah, it's based on a Stephen King novel, short story. Ben Mendelsohn plays the main
Oh,
character.
I've seen an ad for it.
It's
It's
good.
on
It
Max,
really,
right?
yeah, it's on Max or whatever. It's on yeah, whatever. HBO doesn't exist anymore.
Whatever.
Whatever,
But yeah,
but it's
whatever
good.
they
It
want to
is
call
actually
that.
legitimately quite good. So,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
but he went on
I'll
that
give it a
tear. So,
yeah.
uh,
So I mean, he's yeah. I think he's gonna go on he's gonna do what Michael Shannon is doing. Do your big Marvel thing or DC thing, and then go to your art house movies and pretentious movies, and then you know what? I need a new boat.
yeah,
Let's do a Marvel.
or Anthony Hopkins, like I set my entire family up for forever from three Thor movies, and he was in something else briefly too, right?
Oh,
So like,
he's in Zack Snyder's Netflix Star Wars movie.
oh, is he really? Is he playing Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah,
Uh,
he's playing a robot. He's playing C3PO.
like so he's just voice acting. So he's not even
Yes.
like, oh
No.
wow, oh man, I haven't seen the trailer for that. I probably should watch it. Right?
Oh,
There's
there's
a
no
trailer.
trailers. There's no
Uh,
trailers. It's just like
okay.
shots and photos and stills. Like there was this one with Ray Fisher with this giant gun. He's like, it's a 4 foot gun. The fuck you need a 4 foot gun for? Or a molten steel sword. A molten steel sword.
Like it's like
Make it
lightsabers at
make
home.
sense.
Like lightsabers at home is what that is. Okay, like
A molten steel sword. Make it make sense. We're about to watch seven samurais with guns and light swords.
yeah,
That's what we're watching.
like what if a teenager in 1999 was tasked with making the Star Wars prequels? That is, and took a lot of speed. That is probably what that movie is going to be. Like,
It's gonna be slow motion.
well, of
It's gonna be
course.
slow motion. It's gonna be rain shots. Oh man, we're gonna have at least
What
6 rain shots. I'm gonna
90s
count it now.
classic are people going to have sex to? Let's not forget that.
Gross. Hallelujah again. Definitely hallelujah again. That's the worst
Oh,
scene of that movie. It was so horrible. It was so cringe. Anyways.
look,
How
how
did
did
we
Zack
do
Snyder?
this? How did
We
we
could just
do this?
throw shit at Zack Snyder all day. Like this is what Mo and I do in our private chat.
It's
Just like throw
it's
shit
so
at Zack
easy. Like
Snyder.
it's not even difficult. Like it's not at all. Like Army of the Dead could have been good, but it wasn't. It had like there was potential. See, my thing. Do you know my beef with Army of the Dead is you have a rotosaur, right? A rotosaur, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you never use it on
Of course.
zombies. What is the point?
I don't know. Somebody in the storyboards like told Zach it'd look cool, and he's like, "Yeah, put it in."
And like at no point did that saw go into a zombie. Like I promise you, that saw goes into a zombie movie of the year. It's the best movie
Well, they
ever.
might have run out of
Zack
money.
Snyder,
Let's not forget that.
sure. Cause I mean, I don't think Netflix has the money they're throwing around anyways, but
Well,
they gave it to him, and then he
so I
did
mean, we'll
the
see.
bank
But
heist movie.
we'll see. Like, it could end up being like Rings of Power, where Amazon's like, we spent all of this money, so we're gonna keep making them. But like, was it worth it? Like, we gave
Yeah,
these people all of this money to make mediocre television shows
I
slash
mean, Rings of
movies.
Power looked good.
It
It
did.
looked so
It looked
good.
expensive. It looked
It
expensive.
looked so good, especially where's the
Numenor.
the Numenor? Yes, yes, Numenor looked really good, and then like the precursor to is it I almost why did I almost call it Mount Doom?
Mordor.
Mordor. Why did I why did I
I
say
mean, Mount
Mount
Doom
Doom?
is this. I mean, Mount Doom is in
It's
Mordor.
yeah,
That's like saying,
yeah.
you know, that place, the Empire State Building, right? Like, oh, you mean Manhattan? Like, okay.
Right. But yeah, Secret Invasion, episode 3. What did you like? Like what were your things that you could say, okay,
I mean,
this, and this
I actually just
work?
liked the whole episode from beginning to end.
Interesting.
I'll be honest. Like, I didn't love it. Like, I wasn't like, oh man, this is the best episode of television I've ever watched. But I liked it
Mhm.
from beginning to end. I thought each scene did work and it moved forward in a way that was really compelling. And I was like, I'm actually going, like, I like want to watch the next episode, not because it's the next Disney Plus episode of Marvel show, but legitimately, like, the tension has made me like, I want to see what happens next. And
Right.
that's really cool.
Especially after you stop the the scrolls plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that was just to bait out Amelia Clark, Gaia. Um, but then you have that piece, and then you have the piece of the MI6 agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a piece in its own.
Mm-hmm.
She also she's investigating someone. I didn't catch a look at the file she was holding. Was it a file or something she was looking at, right? Because she was
Yeah.
like, she was running her own investigation. Like I want to know what that. I know it's with. I think it's within the show, and I want to see where that goes. So
I
there's
think it's
that
she's going
piece.
to find out that the prime minister is a Skrull. Is what's going to happen.
Right. Right. Hey. So there's that piece, there's Gaia's piece. Um, and then, there are pieces, Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, Talos, and Gravik. Those are 3 pieces again,
Mhm.
and the Super Scroll. So, question I think I asked you the last time, but I don't think you heard it. He got stabbed through the hand, he pulled it out, and he healed. Scrolls don't generally heal, do they?
No, it's well, they have like enhanced healing, but like it's
Right.
extremist. It's the same special effects
Extremes.
that
Correct.
they had in Iron Man 3. So it's just extremist.
Okay.
So
So
he's a super Skrull.
super. Okay.
So Gravik is
All
going to
right.
be the super Skrull. Like, the question is like how the thing about that I don't like about the super Skrull being in this is it like changes the stakes of the show in a way that I don't know they can pull off. Because like Super Skrull is
Mm,
like kind of an over the top supervillain,
villain.
right?
Yeah.
And like he's got a lot of cool powers and like very flashy powers. Like doing that well on television, and like Nick Fury just can't shoot him with a 9mm, like like, and he's dead, right? Like it's gonna have to be either Gaia is also a super Skrull and they have a super Skrull off, or like Rhodey gets involved,
Rhodey.
or like
Yeah.
a couple other, like maybe we get a guest appearance by Sam. I mean, I don't know. Like it's I mean, I would hope. I mean, that would be really cool if they surprised us with
Right.
episode 6, like 2 Avengers show up and like bail Nick out. Um, but I doubt that's going to happen. So I think more likely is that Gaia is a super Skrull as well. And so they'll get a super Skrull off, which hopefully look cool. Hopefully look better than a Flash fight, which is, It
Oh
could become that.
man, you can't help yourself, could you? You
I can't.
just could. Oh man, I still think that movie was delicious, but you
No,
know.
I'm talking about the TV show, by the way, not the movie.
Oh, I like TV show flash fights. Well,
I like
season
TV show
1, 2,
Flash
and 3.
for the first 4 seasons. That's fair, drunk. That's fair.
I think the episodes are moving in a way, in a pace. I think it's the pace, right? It's moving in a pace like they want to build up the tension. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what we know is happening. There are scrolls everywhere. You know, when Talos tells Nick with in episode 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's over 1 million scrolls, and it's like, what the fuck? And now you have this faction of scrolls who wants to bring Skrulls to Earth, and it's like, holy shit, how many of that million is you know is the problem? How many is the drama? It could be a small percent, or it could be like a really, like 45 is huge. It could be 2% of that million. They're just like, okay, we got to do this, but you know. So I think that to me is added tension. Is at what point do the governments of the world become involved? And if they do, because Talos warned Gravik, like, when humans are threatened, they come together. I mean, we also Independence Day.
Yeah.
we also we
I mean,
saw
Endgame.
Endgame,
Yeah.
right? Shit, Infinity War.
Yeah. Well,
Not Civil War per se, but like, yeah. So
Civil War. No, they don't come together. That's the point, right?
right.
Civil War.
So what like how does the scroll numbers on Earth, like, how is that going to factor into the show? Like, when does that become a problem? When, because at some point the human governments are going to find out. When they do, are we going to get the Bendis secret invasion?
I hope not, because like
I know you don't want that.
it's a bad metaphor for those of
Oh
you.
man, I know it's horrible.
Uh,
That's kind of like that. It's kind of like
but
that.
I think one of the things that's interesting about this show is like one of the themes of the last like Marvel movies, and this could be why some people don't like it, is like all of the heroes have kind of like at the end, even though they get something, like there's been a lot of L's going around, right? Like Wakanda, like kind of they win in the end, but they don't. They kind of lose.
Right.
Like
Doctor Strange didn't necessarily win.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, Spider-Man didn't necessarily win. Kind of Shang-Chi is the closest to like a straight up like win.
And he didn't even necessarily win. He, like, who did he, when he beat his dad, it was more so like, oh my God, I see now, like, you should have the power. Like, it wasn't like that victory to me didn't feel like, how would I put it? And then at the end of his sister becomes like the leader of the 10 Rings. So
yes,
it's not a win.
Yeah, it's more.
There's
more.
not. There's
been
a lot of else. Yeah, it's been a lot of like chaotic neutrals, if we're being honest.
And it's like kind of like neutral, like a downswing, right? Like we're getting like the Thunderbolts, who like it looks like this kind of like on more the Suicide Squad sort of villainy or ex-villain like world, right?
Should have had James Gunn do it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that Suicide Squad movie was pretty mid, in my opinion. But
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Listen, look, do we review Peacemaker on this? Do we?
I don't remember. I think we did. But I'll say this though: if you're saying that movie's mid, this is my problem with people who say the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is good, because they're not stacking it up against. No, not you. I'm saying my people in general, not you. Because I remember when that movie came out and all the reviews were like, "Oh my God, it's good, it's better." They were not stacking it up against any of the movies that came out the year before. They were stacking it up against that 2017 Justice League, which you don't have to do much to be better. Like, honestly, just fix the narrative and you're automatically better than that movie.
Oh, that's sad, drunk.
We yeah, we
I
reviewed that. It's on the channel somewhere. But I'm
we
saying
even did
like
a
that's
viewing party of it that you can just listen
yeah.
to. Uh,
All of us just chat shit about that movie. The other thing, right? So now the Suicide Squad movie, right, is what movies are you stacking it up against?
well,
Because
okay.
if you're gonna stack up Zack Snyder's Justice League against Justice League, I think it's only fair to stack up the Suicide Squad against Squad.
Oh, I mean, like, wait,
Just
wait, wait. We're talking about. Okay, wait, wait. There's two different things. In the context of
right,
the DC movies, the Suicide Squad
right,
is like top. I'll give it like top
exact.
three.
Okay,
But for me,
okay,
that
okay.
is like damning with the faintest of praise. That is like you're
That's fine.
explaining to a parent that their kid has a D in your class, and you're like proud of them that they got a D because they worked really hard for that D, and they're passing, they're going to get through. But at the end of the day, it is just a
It's
D.
a
Like,
fucking D.
I mean, Suicide Squad's not that. The Suicide Squad's not that bad. It's more like a C. But like, yeah, most of the DC movies suck, and the fact that the Suicide Squad is one of the better ones, it says
It's
more
not that
about
far.
how bad the other ones
Right.
are versus like
Right.
how good Suicide Squad is. Like, it's a fine movie. Like, I don't know why Harley Quinn is in that movie, but like, I like
Because you still have
clearly,
you still have
yeah,
Margot Robbie on contract.
yeah.
You might as
But
well.
James Gunn did
You
not
can't
find
kill her.
anything interesting to do with her, like
Right. So he
at
put her off to
all.
the side. He put her off to the side and then did the movie and then brought her back.
Yeah,
I thought that was
I
fine.
hated it. Like, I absolutely. It's like you have a very talented actress and one of the most popular comic book characters, and you can't find something interesting for her to do. The shitty Suicide Squad movie, for all of its shit, and it's the morally reprehensible movie. At least Harley Quinn did something in that movie. Now, did she do good things? No, but it still got an A. Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yes. Oh
Anyway, but
man.
we are like way off topic here.
No, I was gonna ask you one more question before we go forward.
Yeah.
So like all of this that you've said right now about this movie, how do you feel about Superman Legacy? Because that is, I think, the DC movies is like, I don't care what happens with the next two movies coming up. Superman Legacy is
There's
really
two
where
movies coming.
DC,
Oh,
yeah,
Aquaman. I
there's
always forget
Blue
about
Beetle
Aquaman.
and Aquaman. Of course you do. It's just Blue Beetle was next August, yeah. People are mad that it's not getting marketed, but no, you have to market Barbie that's going up against Oppenheimer. So you got to push hard on that one, and put all your money into marketing Barbie for the apocalypse. I really want
Oh,
Barbie to kick Oppenheimer's ass
look,
that weekend.
I might crawl out of my cave and go see Barbie, just as like
I
like
would
a
too. I would see Barbie. Yeah,
I mean,
but
of
no.
those two
So
movies, there's exactly one of them I would pay money for, and it's not Oppenheimer. So
right. Oh no, I don't want to watch a 3-hour movie about that. No.
I
So the
will
question
get
again,
drunk and fall asleep watching it when it's on whatever streaming network it goes on in
Max.
4 years.
Oh no,
Because
not
like
Max. Who is
Paramount, did Paramount
I thought it was, is it Universal? To be
might
on
be
Peacock.
Universal. So that'll be when it's on Peacock in 7 years because Christopher
Right.
Nolan hates streaming so much. But anyway,
So yeah, if Superman Legacy is trash, close down DC, we shut it down forever, everything, and
except
just
yeah, they can just
be
make
done.
Batman movies forever, right? It's just like
Yeah, and just be done. So is that like, how do you? So with what you just said about the Suicide Squad, how do you feel about Superman Legacy? I feel like we've talked about this kind of in chat, but like,
so.
yeah, you don't
It
feel
depends
good.
on which James Gunn decides to come. Like James Gunn, who made Guardians 1, and James Gunn who made Guardians 3, he can make a fantastic, awesome Superman movie.
Okay.
If it's the James Gunn that produced Guardians 2,
Brett Byrne.
like I'll go. I mean, I go see it, Like, will I enjoy it? No. Like,
I'll get you. I'll get you in though. You don't have to pay
like,
money.
like,
Don't worry
like,
about
like,
it.
like,
When that
I
first
don't
trailer
like,
comes out and you're like, "Oh my god, what is this?" Just know, just text me and I'll be like, "If I find some screeners, I got you."
like, we'll see. Like, James Gunn to me, as a superhero filmmaker, is a very inconsistent filmmaker. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he made some of my like banger superhero movies. I mean, Guardians 1 and Guardians 3, I think are great superhero movies. Like, when we did the Guardians review, like, I talked about how important Guardians like 1 was to me. It's actually in theaters. It's the Marvel movie I've seen the most.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hate Guardians 2. Like, it's like almost unwatchable to me.
Oh man,
And
I wish we were doing this then. I would love to hear it. I would. I
and
thought it was
then
horrible as well.
and then so the Suicide Squad is fine. Like, if the Superman movie is the Suicide Squad, like equivalent quality, it's like that's fine. Like, it's better than to me than Man of Steel. It's better than any of the like crossover movies that he made. Like
Another
again,
bit of steel. It's
like
Man of
like
Steel is so bad.
it's all better. Like, but is it as good as Guardians 1, Guardians 3, Winter Soldier, the original Iron Man, the Marvel Spider-Man movies, like the Infinity War,
I think
obviously,
it
like Black
fits. I
Panther.
think it
Like,
fits in there with the Ant-Mans though.
it does. Like, it's
If
fine.
it's fine because see my thing with the Suicide Squad, I think it's like a fine movie, like an Ant-Man 1, 2, not 3, but it's like, oh, okay, we get all these big characters: Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, the Suicide Squad. Fine, you don't have to knock the Suicide Squad out the park. I think that's where you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what you're lucky like about that. You don't have to knock those, a nice little two base two base hit is cool for that one, just something mid. Again, if you're stacking it up against the David Ayer one,
Oh yeah, I mean
that's a home
that
run.
movie is morally reprehensible. Like,
Right.
morally reprehensible. That movie should be deleted. Like, it's honest to
No, they
goodness.
want to
Like,
they want to release the Ayer cut
uh,
on Netflix.
oh, I'm sure they do.
Sell Zack
Save.
Snyder Ayer cut to Netflix. But no, I
Okay.
think I
So
I
Drunk
I'm
asked
with
about the
you though.
casting for Legacy.
Right, Legacy. I liked it.
It's
Especially
fine.
what I do love about it is Lois. I never liked what's her name from Man of Steel. I don't know. I just
Oh, Amy Adams.
I
She
did,
was fine.
and she's a good actor. I've seen her in like other things, but she
Mm-hmm.
didn't give me Lois. She didn't give
Well,
me Lois. Like,
that's
it could
entirely
also
Zach.
be.
It's Natalie Portman's
I was
fault,
gonna
right?
say. I was gonna say
Yeah.
yeah. So Zack Snyder, like, because you watch The Witcher, you watch maybe not Mission Impossible. You
He was
watch
pretty
all
good at
these
Mission
other things.
Impossible. He was fine.
I mean,
Like,
like, speaking roles. He didn't
oh
speak in
yeah,
Mission Impossible.
true. He's
I mean, you even go back and watch the Tudors, right? A couple, like, maybe not the first season. He was horrible in the first season of Tudors. Like, you watch, like,
he barely knew how to act in it. Like, nobody, only the guy who played Henry VIII knew how to act in that.
only the guy, and
Like,
maybe Natalie Dorn.
she did not know how to act in the first season. She did not. Like, nobody knew. She knew how. She was
Right.
a very beautiful woman and had a lot of
Yes,
charisma.
she was.
But
Yes,
that's basically what that season has going for it. There's just the dude playing
maybe
Henry VIII,
Man from Uncle. Maybe
like the older guy, like
no,
who
no, no,
played.
no. I'm saying
Oh,
Man
it
from
has Sam
Uncle.
Neill, right? Doesn't Sam Neill play
Yeah, Sam Neill's
our
in
bishop?
Tutors.
Yeah, I mean he does,
Yeah,
but he's
the
like
Tutors
of
was
the like the
fine.
younger people. The younger people. Like,
No,
we're talking about like
it was only yeah, it was only the guy who played Henry. But honestly, hey, listen.
you come to the wrong
Okay,
two people. Like, in every nerd friend group that I am in, I am known as the like Zack Snyder hater from like word go.
oh, same. I think it's 300. Is it
300.
300?
I
Was
mean,
that
you
the
mean
one
the
that
fascist Bush era propaganda movie? Yes,
I
300.
think that's the one where he got the praise from because
Yes, it was. Well,
he just
the
did the
zombie movie.
comic book. No, no one
People
knows that
like
he
it,
did that movie. Can
but
we be honest for a quick second? No one that likes Zack Snyder DC movies knows that he. If we're
no,
being
no.
very honest,
I agree.
they
No, no,
don't know he did that
I
movie.
agree with you, Mo. In the year of our Lord 2023, that is true. No one remembers that movie, except sometimes I forget he did that movie. But I'm talking about
Right.
back in, I don't know, peak Bush era fascist time, right? Like
Okay. Okay.
that's what gave him the cred to make 300. And then,
True.
then people like watched that propaganda film and were like, it's the greatest thing I ever watched. And I was like, what? Like at that point, I was like, we're doomed as a society. I was
And
correct.
then yes, and I think yeah, you're right because that was it. Because somehow someone got it into his head that he could write and direct, and he did Sucker Punch. And yeah, no, I don't get. I don't get. Yeah, drunk. I don't understand his praise too. I don't think his like even Watchmen. People say it was good. No, it wasn't. Like
No, it
Watchmen.
was not good.
Do you know Watchmen? Whatever cut that came out in theaters, the first cut is the only movie post 300. Like no, I don't know. I don't. You know what? Let's go back to this. I'm done. I think
I'm
I
sorry.
can't wait.
Watchmen
I
sucks.
can't wait.
I hate that movie. Like that movie, like my main memory of that movie is I was like watching it. And in the moment, it was like I think the first time that Dr. Manhattan is on Mars, I was like, wait a minute. The comic, this is like issue 6. And I pause it, and there's still like 2.5 hours left in this movie. And I'm like,
Yes,
I can't. Like I just
I'm guessing you watched. I'm guessing you watched the 4 hour cut
I
because
don't
there
know
is a
what I
four
watched.
hour
I
cut
watched
of that.
whatever was on
It-
on
do you
iTunes.
there's
Do you understand how long
do you
ago
know
it
there's
was? I
three
was
cuts
watching
of
movies
that
on
movie?
iTunes, Mo.
Oh yeah, that was
I'm
a
like,
long time. I think no, there are either 4 cuts of that movie or 3 cuts of that movie.
similar to Batman.
No fucking
Different.
way. There's no fucking way.
Well, like what? Like
Oh, you're mean.
let's not let's not
No, we're
relitigate the
not
talk.
gonna go
It's like
there.
we're gonna get because like
We're not gonna go
Mo and
there.
I have
Yeah,
talked
this is
our
gonna be
opinions
another
about
hour.
the Snyder
This is
Cut
gonna be another hour.
has been articulated. I think
Uh
making fun of the Snyder Cut was one of the first things I did appearing on this channel. All
yes,
right.
it was. It was the antimatter. Dark side went and got the antimatter equation and is forcing us to watch the Snyder Cut. I will say this to before we jump back into Secret Invasion. Justice League is still to me better, and I will say this to my the last breath I have in my life, is better than the Snyder Cut. I don't care how anybody feels about that. It's the better movie. Superman is better than that movie. Fuck, the Flash is better than that movie. Batman is better than that movie. Batman, like I will say this. I know the only reason I'll say is because Batman tanked 2 eye lasers from Superman with a gauntlet in the Snyder Cut.
Oh, did he? I
Cyborg
don't
is better than
remember.
that movie. No, he did. He did, and it pissed me
Oh
off.
wow, Ray Fisher would strongly disagree with you about that, my friend.
I don't care how he feels. I should care how he feels, but I don't. Cyborg is better in that movie because he's not just my thing about there's a trope in Hollywood that I feel like a lot of black actors, because they want to get roles, just fall into this trope. I call it, me and my friend called it angry black boy trope, where you're just an angry black boy for no fucking reason. Cyborg spends half of that Justice League Zack Snyder movie just being angry, and then he steals money from the bank and he puts a woman and her child in trouble. Do you understand when the FBI comes knocking on her door?
Yeah.
Wonder
He
Woman
couldn't like blame a
commits,
billionaire or something, like steal the money and
right,
like blame Jeff Bezos or Bruce Wayne. That would have been even funnier.
right.
So
Wonder Woman murders a man in front of children to be
doesn't he also?
edgy.
She also does that in the Justice Cut, doesn't she?
No,
I think
it
she does.
cuts. It cuts away.
Oh,
You never see it. Like
okay.
Zack Snyder said, you have to see this shit. Actually, no. In the Justice cut, in the Whedon cut, she flies up and tosses the briefcase into the sky, and it blows up.
Okay.
In the Whedon cut, in the Snyder cut, she gauntlets the guy. He blows up the and half of the bank takes half of the bank with him. So
Okay.
in front of children. When she breaks into the room to save the children, she's ragdolling these. You know what? You know what?
I'm never gonna. I mean, that's again, that is like
Low hanging fruit.
literally true in exact because of a couple of things. Okay, first off, the idea that Superman showing up is 9/11 is one of the funniest things that anyone has ever like come up with. Like Zack Snyder like deciding that like Batman versus Superman is going to always be a famous movie because there's just so many batshit terrible ideas that someone should have said to Zack Snyder,
branding fucking
like
criminals.
Batman just murking people left and right, just
Oh
like,
man,
and
murder
then the
bad.
Martha, like that alone,
You're letting
like
him kill Martha.
like that is like that movie deserves to go into the Library of Congress like vault that when the aliens come and find our civilization when we've like wiped it out from global warming and they go down and like in Fort Knox and there's like all of human civilization that the government decided to preserve. That movie deserves to be in there because I want some alien 1,000 years from now to put this in and be like,
fuck this planet. Fuck this planet. Let's blow this shit up.
So, like someone was given the two most iconic superheroes in the world. All right, three with Wonder Woman. But like, it's a movie's called Batman versus Superman. Let's not forget. Let's not forget. The movie is called Batman versus Superman. Wonder Woman is the best part of that movie.
The marketing had Wonder Woman in it, like posters and everything. Yeah,
that theme, like in Batman versus Superman, it still gets me every time.
I don't think so. I just think they just don't have the right people to do the live action stuff. And I think they trust more of the animators. I think it's a thing where you trust more of the animators to just go in there and make whatever. You're not beholden to shareholders for animators making animated movies. That if these movies were going into the theaters, then we might say this, but they're not. If it was like a Spider-Verse type thing versus like regular DC movies, oh yeah, 100%. But I don't know. I think the animated movies that go straight to DVDs don't really matter to.
They're kind of bad. Like they're fun. Like a lot of them are pretty fun. Like last summer I went through like a binge on Max.
Did you see Batman Bad Blood?
That one I don't know if I watched. I don't know.
The joke was that Taylor Swift.
Maybe I will have to go watch that one. I don't know if I watched that one. I'll have to see.
You
I
have
think
to see that one.
The main reason, I think it's twofold. Oh, threefold. 3 quick points. One, Marvel Animation, except for a couple of times, has never spent the money. At least since the 90s, Marvel Animation has made like 2 good shows, maybe 2.5. One good Spider-Man show, one good Avengers show. Compared to DC, Warner Brothers was willing to spend money. Like they spent like they made bangers, including the Batman. What I know it's controversial, but like a lot of people love that series. Like people love like the Brave and the Bold show.
Are you talking about the Rasta?
I mean, I'm talking about the classic ones and just
okay.
But like all of but there's like even the ones that aren't the Bruce Timm ones are like popular, right? And even those direct-to-video ones have an audience, and they clearly did spend money, particularly on the earlier ones. Like they spent money on them. Marvel just never did that until Into the Spider-Verse, which is a whole different thing. And second, let's not also forget that there's good Batman movies. Like there's several good Batman movies, right? And there's there's at least one. Well, all right, 1.5. Like Superman 1 and 2, the Reeves ones, I think are legitimately good movies. All right, and then like whether Superman Returns, like I know we got some stands of it here.
Oh yeah, super stand.
But like there are a few good Superman movies, right? But I do think like too many people making DC movies get in their own way, right? And it feels like they like in the way in which I think what the secret to Marvel's success in the early years is Marvel got out of its own way. It just said like we're gonna make these superhero movies, and they're just going to be superhero movies.
Correct.
and like that's what they're going to be.
We're not gonna make political fucking statements. We're not gonna make
We're not going
we're not gonna deconstruct
to
a superhero
construct.
movie in the second. We're not gonna kill our biggest superhero in the second outing. I fucking hate Zack Snyder. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Well, and also
Because
let's not forget, Zack Snyder also had terrible ideas. Like his ideas were bad,
and no one
like
to rein him in. And I think that's the biggest part is where Marvel had a Feige who has been working with Marvel, because the thing about Feige is I don't think he started producing bangers until he had Marvel Studios, because he produced the Daredevil movie, he produced the Elektra movie. If anyone really wants to go back, Kevin Feige
yeah.
has been in every Marvel movie, but he's definitely
He
worked.
started as an assistant at Sony. Like he helped make
Yeah,
the Sam Raimi
the
Spider-Man
Spider-Man movies, yes.
when he was
So he's
like low
been,
level.
yeah, he's been with the Marvel franchise, like, and he's touched everything. That's what DC needed. Not necessarily going to go get a director and saying you do this. No, we need someone who's touched everything and just put him in charge. They didn't have anyone in charge, so you have Zack Snyder in charge, and he's just gonna spitball ideas, and you have executives who don't know anything. That's the biggest problem. Where again, like I said, the animated movies weren't beholden to shareholders. You know, yes, they're spending money, or the animated shows weren't they're spending money on them, but you know that's kid. And I honestly feel like the executives are sitting there saying that's kid entertainment. That's for the kids. We don't care. You know, it's not going to bring us like big bucks. When you start seeing Iron Man 2 make almost $1 million, the Iron Man 3 make almost $1 billion.
No,
Like
made over $1 billion. Let's not forget that movie
right.
made over $1
You're
billion.
thinking to yourself, oh, we need to get Nolan back to make. I think the biggest fuck up was deciding to have Nolan produce a Superman movie. I think that's the little domino piece that leads to the Flash.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that
it was
is it
also
for DC for me.
people. The last thing I'll say is if there's been more behind the scenes stuff about that. It was, and Nolan is partially to blame for Zack Snyder being Zack
Oh yeah,
Snyder, because Snyder because Nolan like was like, Zack, are you sure that this is like what you want to do? I'm not sure that this is right, and Zack convinced him that was the right,
right.
like some
Because
of the
and that's
decisions
I
made.
think that's why I also
And
started hating Nolan. But I think the biggest behind the scenes stuff was Zach wasn't even the first choice. Guillermo del Toro was the prime choice to do the Superman movie. He was busy. I don't know what he was doing. I just can't understand for the life of me why he didn't unbusy himself to do Superman. But he was busy. He was too busy to do Superman, and I think they went through a couple other directors, and then it's finally like, okay, let's just bring a shooter in, right? Because that's what Zack Snyder was up to the point, was a shooter. I mean, granted, he had made his own Sucker Punch and the two comic book movies, but he's a shooter.
he'll make a movie.
Yeah. So you bring Zack Snyder in, and again, you don't give him like Deb Snyder. That's his supervision. It's recipe for disaster. I'm sorry, because
Yeah.
she's not. I don't think she's gonna say no to him per se.
Well, they almost, one would think that they have similar visions, and that's why they make a
Right.
good pair, right? Like
A
I don't mean
good
that it's
pair.
in a share, right? Like
It
in
is
a
so
shady
fucking
way.
crazy why you have in the Justice League movie, as soon as Aquaman dives in, you break into song. Fuck that movie. No, seriously. Fuck that movie. I will, again, to my dying breath, there no one can convince me that Justice League is that bad. I promise you. This is how sure I am, right? If the Snyder cut had come out in theaters, it would have scored a -2 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, who knows? Like,
It would have been no. Come on, Roy. Like let's rewind to 2017. 2016 BVS comes out,
you're
and
talking
then
about like in the original like
in the time,
timeline.
and they were like, if
So you're
Barry
saying
didn't,
that the Snyder family tragedy doesn't happen. Like
right,
he doesn't leave.
Barry didn't go in the past, right? Yeah, and Reverse Flash didn't fuck everything up. Zack Snyder finishes his Justice League, and that's what we get. Honest opinion.
Oh, I mean, after
Coming off
Batman versus
BVS.
no
Yes.
movie like you could have made the Citizen Kane of superhero movies, like the greatest superhero movie of all time. Like I don't know, pick your favorite superhero movie. Infinity War, right? That's most people like will admit that that's like easily
The
top
GOAT.
1% of superhero movies, right? You could
Mhm.
have made Infinity War, like that level of quality coming out right after Batman versus Superman. People would have shit all over it. Now, 10 years later, they would have said it's brilliant. But like that movie, like Batman versus Superman, poisoned the discourse like so much, so many people just hated it, and then there were the people who like loved it for reasons that are the worst reasons, and we got like the world that we live in today, right? Like so many. I think that movie was always doomed. Like the biggest. Well, Josh Whedon made two critical mistakes as a creative person. First, being a piece of shit. So he should have not been a piece of shit. Number one, just like going all the way back to the 90s. But two, like it was a poisoned chalice. Like the man
Mhm.
should have
You
known
should have never.
that.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I know like it like the stories are that like Snyder asked him as a friend to bail out a really bad situation. And so like I don't blame like of all the things Whedon has done in his life, it's agreeing to Zack Snyder's request to take over for him is not like the worst thing, like because we just did some really horrible things to a lot of people, and did a lot of horrible things while making his movie, but like it was a poison chalice. Like they could have gotten Martin Scorsese could have been like, you know what, I feel really bad for the Snyders. I'm gonna make a superhero. I'm gonna make a Justice League movie, or Francis Ford Coppola. Like pick your, or they could have gotten Christopher Nolan to come back and do it, right? Like it would have just been doomed. I mean, again, but I think we've played this out now. So
Right.
let's
Yeah.
go
We're
back.
done.
All right, let's put our we transformed into DC, our true identity, which is DC fan first, I
Right.
guess.
DC fans.
And
Yeah.
even though I am much more of a Marvel fan, but
At this point, I think everyone is a Marvel fan. Like I'm a Marvel fan. I was standing really hard for She-Hulk. Don't come for She-Hulk. Honestly, I think Secret Invasion. Again, my thoughts are the episode was good. Again, it's not like a great episode, but it's a good leading episode. As an episode 3, as a halfway point, I think if if the story was wrapping up, if it felt like it was going to wrap up in 6 episodes, I feel like this is a good episode 3 kind of like build up, right?
yeah.
But again, because I feel like the story isn't going to wrap up, I'm like, this is a good episode 3. It's a good halfway, but is it a good halfway point episode? And that's where I am.
I think so.
Okay.
I think because it's a pivot point, right? I think the end of the episode with the death of Gaia and the revelation of Nick Fury's wife being a possible traitor and possibly Rhodey being a Skrull, like the shit kind of hit the fan.
Those are great twists. Yes.
Yeah. So like I would give this episode like a solid B. Like where I'm like
a B as well.
Like yeah, let's keep going.
Like it's a B, right? It's a B episode, but again, my feelings on how whether or not the show would end good to great is just, I think that's the only hang up for me. Otherwise, pretty solid episode. I'll watch next week. Again, I think the episodes what the show has done really well is I'll watch next week. Because if we were
all they gotta do.
Right. Because I think it was Moon Knight where it's like, okay.
I think if we weren't doing the YouTube show, you would have.
Yeah, we gotta watch next week. If I'm not doing the show, I guess. Yeah. And then again, I love Oscar Isaac. We love Oscar Isaac on the channel, but it's just Moon Knight was just tough. It was tough.
Moon Knight lost.
Yeah, it did. Ms. Marvel just was great in the beginning, and then something happened, and we're like, do we gotta watch this? Do we really have? And then somehow it redeemed itself.
Kind of.
I think it was
the finale was good. The finale was fine.
Like fine. It felt Home Alone-y, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool again for the age of the character, and high school and her friends like being part of like in her community. Yeah, it was kind of cute. It felt like a
It got
Spider-Man ish moment.
we had the X-Men theme, so
Right, right.
what's not to love?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I do want to do once this is over. I want to. How many Marvel shows do we have now? Loki, WandaVision.
We doing a tier
Uh,
list?
yeah, I want to do a tier list after this one. If
All
you're
right,
up
let's do
for it,
it.
because I
Oh,
think what's next would be a season 2 of Loki,
we should do a
right?
tier list before season 2 of Loki because that's
Before
really the
season 2
first
of
one.
Loki, because that's the first show with the second season. So yeah, I think we should definitely do a tier list. So yeah, thank you, Roy, for making the time
Always.
on a Friday.
Oh yeah, that's what today is.
Silly ass week. I really forgot. It was Wednesday. I'm
Uh,
sitting down. I'm texting. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you on Thursday. I mean tomorrow. Oh snap! Tomorrow's Thursday. Okay, great. But no, thank you, Roy.
of course.
Thank you, Drunk. We will catch you next week on Wednesday. Have a good weekend. How do I end this show?